Well, July has come and gone, and I have to say, it was a hot one. Shoo! But the nice thing about those extra spicy days is that the best activity to stay cool is to sit in front of the AC and play board games. So, if you want to know what games I played in July to figure out what to play in August, then might I suggest... Hi, I'm Alex and welcome to Might I Suggest a Game, a channel devoted to helping you find your perfect board game. All of a sudden, it's August, which means that it's time for my tasting overview for my favorite games that I played in July. I'm excited to share my top picks from this month and see how they compare to last month. Check out that video right here. But before we start, I need some more suggestions. What do you think I should play this month? Drop your favorite games down below in the comments, and while you're there, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell button so you can get notified when I post new content. I want to give a shout out to Mac McCormick for last month's top suggestion. He said that he needed a deep dive on that Pokemon board game on the shelf over there. Well, Mac, that Pokemon board game is Pokemon Battle Academy. Pokemon Battle Academy is a beginner's guide to the Pokemon trading card game, and it's a great way to teach new players how to actually play the card game. I've been playing more on the online version of the trading card game recently, but I used the Battle Academy base game to pick up the basics and to teach new people who are interested in learning the game. When I was younger, I used to just collect the cards because I thought they looked cool, but now that I play a lot of games, I've been really interested in the strategy behind the cards. Mostly though, when I play Pokemon, I feel like a kid again, and that itself is worth the price of admission. I hope that was enough information to keep you satisfied for now, but it sounds like I need to do a more in-depth rundown of this game soon. Anyways, thanks for the suggestion, Mac, and stay tuned for more Pokemon content. Now, let's get into the good stuff. In July, I played 20 unique games, some once, some multiple times. The games I played were Metro X, Werewords, Concept, Cartographers, Zia, Legends of a Drift System, Micro Macro Crime City, Sonora, The Mind Extreme Edition, Q-List, Quacks of Quedlinburg, Ghost Blitz, Ruckus, Clask, Two Rooms and a Boom, Illusion, Hues and Cues, Titanic the Game, Sunset Over Water, Magic the Gathering, and the Pokemon trading card game. Since I started doing these recaps, this is the most amount of unique games that I've played in a month, so it was extra hard to narrow it down to my favorites, but I did my best, so here goes. Will one of these games be the perfect game for you? Let's find out, shall we? To start us off, I want to talk about a few games that I actually didn't play in July. The first of these categories is my top anticipated game in the month of July, and that one goes to Iridia, The Paths We Dare Tread. The best part about this game is that I don't have to anticipate any longer. Iridia just recently dropped on Kickstarter on August 3rd. You can check out a trailer for the game up here in the corner, and you can find the link to the Kickstarter down in the description. Iridia is an open world, campaign-based, cooperative, fantasy, role-playing, board game. Holy cow! If at least one of those things didn't get you super excited, you're crazy! Iridia's got all the makings of a really amazing game, and I can't wait to see more of the details that come out as the game progresses. One of the reasons I'm excited about this game is that it's made by the same designer as Zia. Cody Miller from Far Off Games did an amazing job on Zia, which I'll talk about later. And if Iridia has even half of the storytelling and attention to detail that Zia does, I think it's gonna be a pretty dang good game. The other thing that got me super excited about this game is that they're labeling it a green legacy game. Now, most legacy games have boxes to open, stickers to undo, and secret objects to reveal that are usually only single use. But Iridia promises that at the end of your campaign, you'll be able to reset the game completely from where you started. Really, it almost seems too good to be true, but I think that reason alone is reason enough to check out this Kickstarter. Like I said before, the link is below in the description. So, might I suggest checking out Iridia, The Paths We Dare Tread. The next category is the top missed opportunity in July. This was a game that I was so excited to get my hands on and get to the table in July, and then life happened, and it's still sitting in the shrink on my shelf. That game is Lost Ruins of Arnak from Czech Games Edition. Lost Ruins of Arnak is an Indiana Jones style expedition game that combines worker placement and deck building into a really exciting game for 1 to 4 players. I've heard so many good things about this game on Board Game Geek and on Instagram, but actually I think all the hype surrounding it was one of the reasons why I didn't get it to the table. I think I was just waiting for that perfect moment to bring it out to the table for an awesome game night, and that just never materialized in July. I was kind of nervous about it. I wanted my first play of this game to be a great experience. But now that it didn't get played all month, I just need to suck it up and get it to the table as soon as possible. Now, I'm traveling a little bit at the beginning of August, and because it's pretty big, the chances that it makes it into my vacation luggage are pretty slim. But as soon as I get back, you know it's going to be the first game that I try out. Anyways, you might have to wait until next month for me to suggest this game, but I have really high expectations for it, and I'm super excited to get it to the table. Alright, now let's move into some of the games that I did play. The first category that I'm going to talk about is the top new game in my collection, and this award has to go to Sonora from Pandasaurus Games. I picked this game up for $5 at the 10th annual Pacific Northwest Game Swap. Shout out to Sean and all the other volunteers that made this event happen. For $5, I didn't really have any big expectations for this game, but as soon as I broke it out of the box, I knew I had struck gold. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth about the game because, spoiler alert, I've got a new video about this game cooking up as we speak.
So good and tasty.
But what I will tell you is that I was blown away by the combination of simple gameplay and complex decisions. Sonora is a combination of a dexterity and a roll and write game, and because it was such a unique combo, it just made me want to play over and over again. So if you want to know more about Sonora, stay tuned to this channel, and if you just want to take my word for it, then might I suggest Sonora. The next category is the top Table Hogger, which is the game that we played the most in the month of July. And that award has to go to Werewords from Bezier Games. Werewords is a mashup of Codenames and Werewolf that plays with 4 to 10 players. We played it a lot on vacation, check out my video on that, because it's easy to pick up and each game only takes about 5 minutes. I particularly like the speed of the game because sometimes when you're in a tough role like the Werewolf, the games feel like they can take forever. But in this one, it's timed, so you know that even if you lose, it'll only take 5 minutes. Another thing that I liked about this game was the companion app that you play with. You use the app to control the game, but you can also make new lists and add new words into the app to really cater your experience for the people that you're playing with. Plus, this game comes in a really small box, so it was super easy to just slide into my carry-on. So if you're looking for a compact party game to play on the road with a little bit of bluffing and a whole lot of question asking, then might I suggest Werewords. The next category is the top game off the back of my shelf, aka a game that I played this month that I hadn't played in a long time. And this month, this one goes to Concept from Repost Productions. Concept was one of the first games that we had in our collection back when we first started getting into the hobby. It was one of our favorites then. We used to play it all the time and it still holds a very special place in my heart. Now that the collection is significantly larger, it doesn't get to the table much anymore, but we did get a chance to play it in July and it was just as good as I remembered it. I usually describe Concept as charades with icons. Players will place different colored cubes on this big board of icons to try to get the other players to guess the person, place, thing, idea, phrase, etc. To this day, Concept is still one of my favorite party games, and I just think it's so versatile. You can play it with all different ages, you can vary the difficulty, you can even add clues in yourself. It was great to dust this game off and get it to the table in July, and I hope we get a few more plays of it in the months to come. So if you're a visual learner and you love thinking outside the box and connecting pictures with ideas, then might I suggest Concept. The last category that I'll talk about is my top overall game for July. Now, I played a bunch of games in July, but this one took the cake by far. I mentioned it before, and I'll say it again. It's Xia, Legends of a Drift System. Now, Xia was my top missed opportunity from last month, so this month I specifically planned a game night, and we finally got it to the table, and it did not disappoint. Xia is designed by that same Cody Miller from Far Off Games that I mentioned earlier, and you can tell the amount of time and effort he really spent making this game as good as it is. In fact, I love Xia so much that even though the first game took about 4.5 hours to play, I wanted to play again right away. The other guys, on the other hand, needed to take a breather, but I'm really looking forward to the next Xia game night. There were a ton of things about this game that I loved. I loved the sandbox aspect of it. I particularly enjoyed exploring new corners of the universe throughout the game. I also enjoyed the player interaction. It was just enough where we were getting in each other's way a little bit with 3 players, but it didn't feel too mean or too crowded. But you want to know how I know this game was really good? I died 3 times. Not just like a ship adrift in space looking for a port. No, I like exploded died 3 times.
Oh, he dead. He dead.
And despite all of that, I still managed to come from behind and win the game. It really ended up coming down to the last title card that was flipped. I had to fly straight through 3 spaces on an asteroid belt without getting blown up, and I just barely squeaked out with 1 point of damage to spare. That final moment was amazing, but even without that, I felt the tension throughout the whole game. I think in general, it's really hard to keep people's interest for a game that's this long, but I feel like even at the end, the people that I played with were still really into it because it was so close. There are so many different paths to victory that every turn from your opponent seems super unpredictable in the best way possible. Xia is chaotic, it's exciting, it's cruel, it's beautiful, and it's everything in between. I really can't say enough good things about this game, but I'll make sure to save some of them for my in-depth review of it coming soon. So, if you want to make the most out of your 4.5 hour gaming window, and you want a robust, deep space experience that'll take you to the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and that ensures a completely new map and exciting new strategies every time you play, then might I suggest Xia, Legends of a Drift System. Thanks so much for sticking around for my tasting overview for the month of July. Let me know what you thought about my favorite games, and let me know what games you think I should play in the month of August. I really love hearing your suggestions, and if it's good enough, I'll make sure to shout you out next month. Thanks again for all the support so far. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so I can keep growing this channel and keep helping you find your perfect board game. Once again, this has been a Might I Suggest a Game production, and I'm Alex, your board game sommelier, signing off.